So greetings from Pennsylvania once again, and we are here in Stony Valley, or what's often referred to as St. Anthony's Wilderness, here in northern Lebanon County. Of course, it extends over into Schuylkill County and Dauphin County too. Also sporting the new merch, the new hoodie with the new design on it. Might be my favorite design. Yeah, but several reasons for heading up here today. We're headed to the abandoned ghost town of Gold Mine. So let me go ahead and throw up a map of where I'm headed. So just back down that way, the way we came. That's Gold Mine Road. So I parked down by the Stony Valley Rail Trail. Of course, just earlier this fall, I did one of my Pennsylvania back roads on this road during the fall with all the beautiful colors. And what we're walking on now is the original Gold Mine Road. Of course, it came up, head up this way. It used to come up this way, but now back in the 30s, they diverted it up off to our left over here. I think that was a CCC project. So this was where we're headed now. Up north was the original road that took you up to Gold Mine. It's about a 15 to 20 minute walk up to where the village was. Uphill. So several reasons for coming here today. One is that this is kind of a special place for me. I have filmed here several times in the past. In a lot of ways, for me, this is where it all began. The whole exploring idea here in Pennsylvania. I'd heard rumors of places like this, but then when I actually came out looking for them, I discovered the rumors are true, that there's so many awesome places out in Pennsylvania, out in the wilderness, the forests of Pennsylvania, things to find. Not just ghost towns, but all kinds of awesome stuff. You know, sometimes you think people get the idea that you have to travel to, so I'm switching hands here, that you have to travel to like California or Alaska to see cool stuff. There is cool stuff out in those places, which I hope to see someday, but there's also cool stuff just right here in your backyard. So in a lot of ways, this area, not just Gold Mine, but this whole area, Stony Valley, is where it all began for me. Even prior to YouTubing, for the several years I just was kind of out hiking and exploring before YouTube, this is where it started. And also, I've been working on a bunch of new series. Even in the previous video, I started a new series on Pennsylvania's iron furnaces. So I'm going to start a new series too with Pennsylvania's abandoned ghost towns. You know, why not? Why not just make a concerted effort to get to as many of these ghost towns as I can, and to put them into an organized playlist, not just for myself or for viewers, but just for what's the term? You know, posterity, for people in the future. Just like with all the other places I'm visiting, you know, the iron furnaces, the bridges, all the other historical stuff, one by one these places disappear due to different reasons. So it's about documenting them before they're all gone. Alright, so I'm just gonna hustle my way up to the top. It's not too steep of a hike up this old road. But yeah, Gold Mine is one of the, there's a number of these old coal mining villages that were up here in Stony Valley. There's Gold Mine, there's Roush Gap, there was Yellow Springs, Rattling Run was another one. There was another village here too called Cold Springs, but that was not a coal mining town. That was more like a resort town. Alright, so I will see you at the top. Well, not quite the top, but where I'll start filming again. And I'll tell you a little bit more of the history, and we'll look around and see what all we can find of the ruins of this town. There's some cool stuff up here, but I'll see you up there. Alright, well, we have made it. It took me maybe only like 10 minutes, but depending on what physical condition you're in, it might take you a little longer. But yeah, when you see this like stone wall remnant here, you have arrived. Of course, this is not the village itself. The village is actually down in there, but this is the what I call the crossroads. There's a cool railroad bridge, or what's left of one over that way, and the mines are up this old road that way. So I'm gonna take a break, catch my breath, and then we'll keep on filming, keep on exploring. All right, so breath has been caught. Had some water. So let's give a reference here again. So this is the way we came up. That would take you back down to Gold Mine Road and the Stony Valley Rail Trail. There is a trail that goes that way. Takes you to where the mines were. There's actually a trail up above too there. Sometimes referred to as the Old Mine Road. That takes you over to Gold Mine Road too. You can continue up this way too. That actually will loop around. We're what's called Gold Mine Gap. You can see there's Sharp Mountain up there. And up here there's like kind of a gap. This kind of takes you up through the gap, and there's other trails up there too. It gets kind of confusing, so I won't spend too much time talking about that. But there was some more modern strip mining occurred up that way. But then this way is where the old railroad bridge is, actually this way. The trail goes down, crosses the creek. And this is often referred to as the Summit Siding Railroad. It kind of parallels the Stony Valley Rail Trail at the bottom. And you can hike this whole rail bed all the way over to Roush Gap. It's a pretty cool 4-mile hike. And of course, our town, the gold mine, is down in there across the creek. We'll get to there in a little bit. So right now, we're gonna head over to where the coal mines were, up this way, where the old, I forget what it's called offhand, but where they would store the coal, clean and wash the coal. There's a name for that. It'll come to me in a moment. But yeah, so this is the railroad. There's probably some kind of bridge here, because the train would come from the bridge over here and head up to the mines over there where they would load the coal. So let's get up that way. All right, so we're making our way down the old railroad bed towards the mines. Of course, the Summit Siding Railroad was built. This was built in 1852. And I think the one down below, the Stony Valley, what is now the Stony Valley Rail Trail, was built 2 years later in 1854. But this one stops up by the coal mines. It continues just a little bit past. Never continued further. Whereas the one down below continued on through Stony Valley and beyond. So the heyday of this village was in the 1850s. They could have been here mining as early as the 1820s. No one really knows for sure, but even after the town was abandoned, people did continue to live here. It's kind of like squatters a little bit. But at some point, I think in the early 1900s, I think it was the railroad, pulled all the houses down and stuff that were here to prevent people from living up here. But there was all kinds of bootleg coal mining going on here too. If you explore, like down below, you'll find all kinds of other coal workings and old campsites and stuff. All right, up ahead is the first mine entrance, or it was an entrance at one point. Right down here, this little depression in the ground. Doesn't look like much now, but you can kind of see some, you see my shadow, but I see some stonework there. Get my shadow out of the way. See some stonework there. So not quite sure. Guess maybe it went in that way. It's all kind of filled in these days. Like I said, you can see a little bit of stonework there. And up ahead here was the other one, somewhere up here. And then the waste heap piles up here too. Oops, tree. Yeah, over here was the other one. If you get around this tree here. Well, yeah, you can kind of see more interesting stonework there. I think the mine entrance was just below this here. But there's some more interesting stonework. There's like a whole line of stonework here. Almost looks like there's another opening here. Just below there. Not sure about that actually, to be honest, but might be where the two entrances were. And of course just back here is where the waste rock pile is. All the waste rock that they dug out that wasn't worth anything, just stacked it here. You can see this, it's a big pile here. Yeah, so maybe that first little depression I showed you was not an entrance into the mines, I'm not sure. Because it looks like it was those two sections with the stone wall facing, but maybe that other spot was just a collapsed section. But yeah, pretty cool. And here's the waste rock here. Yeah, so 1850s. This would have been a bustling spot full of dirty, grimy men coming out of those coal mines with probably with wheelbarrow loads of coal and this waste rock. And they lived up here too, over in the village. Let me turn around, it's kind of a cool view here. Yeah, so here's looking out from the top of the waste rock pile. That is Second Mountain off in the distance there. Actually a nice day. It's a bit chilly, but not much wind out here. Alright, let's head back down to the mines. Because there's no open entrances to these anymore down here. Long since collapsed. But yeah, the railroad bed continues just a little bit past this point, but then it just stops. But we are going down here a little bit, because there are the remains of what's often referred to as like a coal breaker. Up over this way. Let's get up there a little bit. Alright, so we are up above the mines now. Right there's one of the entrances. There's the railroad bed. There's the waste rock pile over there. And you come up on top here and start seeing rows of, it's like stone walls. There would have been, these would have held up like a wooden trough. And then, oh yeah, there's more up. This will go all the way to the top there, not to the top of the mountain, but we'll follow it to the top. And there's another foundation up there. It's a foundation to a water tower. And this is where they would wash the coal and sort it. It's a coal breaker. They would clean it, get all the grime off of it, and sort it out. Because as the coal came out of the mines, it would be in different sizes. It's a coal breaker. I guess they'd maybe break it too, the sizes they needed. Yeah, you just be able to see a series of these like stone walls going all the way to the top there. Alright, so we will go ahead and walk up. There's kind of like a little path on the side here. Yeah, but that water, there was a water tank at the top. I may have called it a water tower earlier, but it was a water tank. Of course, it would hold water, and that's where the water would be. The water would rush down that trough, like with the coal to clean it off. Let's just go this way. Because you have men working along here. Kind of cool shot looking up there. Just out here in the middle of the woods. Love the old stonework though. Yeah, over here you can see a clear trail. Maybe I should be going up there, but yeah, maybe we'll go down this way. Up this way. Yeah, definite trail. And up here's the foundation for that water tank. That's a pretty cool shot too. You know, beautiful, like I said, beautiful stonework. Alright, so we're now on top. You kind of see the remains down there. We're now standing on top where the water tank was. And there is another trail up here. Another old road. Goes by different names. A lot of times it's called the Old Mine Road. If you go that way, it takes you back to town, the gold mine. Just a little bit up from where we were earlier. If you would go this way, that would take you all the way out to Gold Mine Road again. maybe about a mile that way, or a little bit less than that. There's some parking in that area too. But back in the day, this took you to the town of what's called Mount Eagle. And they would use this road to bring their coal here. Mount Eagle didn't have its own coal breaker, so they would come and use the one here at Gold Mine. And then actually up behind me, up the mountain a little bit more, is actually another old road. And I filmed that years ago. Some people told me they call it the old stagecoach road. But I think some people call this the old stagecoach road, because the road that's up there, it's a cool old road, but it just ends. It mysteriously just ends right about up there. So it was never finished. But that takes you, this kind of parallels the one we're on now. It takes you over that way too. So yeah, I might film that one again just to see if anybody knows anything about it. Because the first time I filmed it, might have been in the first year of filming. It didn't have that many viewers. But maybe more people know about what that one up there is about. But anyway, let's, I'm gonna, in the shade there. I'm gonna head back down to the bottom. I'm gonna take some pictures on the way down. I gotta remember to take pictures because I want to use one of my journals to write about these ghost towns too. All right. Then I'll get to the bottom, take a few pictures, and we'll head back to where our reference point at the beginning there. All right, but before we get back down to the crossroads down there, I almost forgot about something of interest. I can't believe I forgot about it. But there's an interesting feature here. That's a bit of a mystery, but I think I know what it is. In one of the other towns here, ghost towns, Yellow Springs, up on top of Stony Mountain, there's something called the Stone Tower, and you can visit that. I've been up there a couple of times. It's not quite in the town itself, it's up above the town where the mines were. There's different ideas of what that tower was. It most likely has something to do with ventilation for the mines. And there's always, sorry, I'm switching hands here, and then the thought is, well, if Yellow Springs had one, wouldn't these other towns have one? And I think they did. I think both Roush Gap and Gold Mine here had one, and I think the one at Gold Mine is back here behind us. Obviously it's not standing anymore. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a picture up of the one at Yellow Springs. It's pretty awesome. It used to be a lot taller, but over the years it's come down quite a bit, but it's still impressive. And of course I haven't been there for several years, so I'm not even sure if it's up at all anymore. Yes, so up that way is our coal breaker, and the water tank was up there, but here's a foundation right here. You can see some old metal in the rock there. This is all a building of sorts, but there's a mound, get up here, right where this hemlock tree is. There's a kind of a mound in here, and there's some stacked, excuse us, tree. There's some stonework in here, just a little bit of stacked stonework. I think this is the tower. This is where the tower was. And this was like the building associated with it right here. So obviously it's not here. But I'm pretty sure that's where it was. Yeah, so if Yellow Springs had one, the other towns here most likely did. And I've seen these in other videos, and there's a channel called Exploring with the Coal Cracker. I forget his name offhand, sorry. But yeah, he filmed one of those towers someplace a little bit further north. I think it's the same idea, like a ventilation shaft for the mines. But yeah, but this one, Gold Mine is the easiest of these villages to get to, so this one probably didn't fall down on its own accord. It's probably knocked down. Whereas the one at Yellow Springs is way up on the top of the mountain, which is probably why it survived longer. All right, well, I got my pictures of this, so let's head back to the crossroads, and we'll head to the bridge abutments of the railroad, which are the most awesome thing up here. That's kind of, remember I said where it all began? It's kind of those bridge abutments. They're big, they're amazing. All right, so we made it back to the crossroads. Once again, that's where we came up originally in the video. There's the railroad bed that goes back to the mines were. And now we're gonna head this way to the railroad bridge. Those bridge abutments are awesome. First time I ever came up here, I followed what's called a gold mine run, the creek that flows up this way. And when I came to these bridge abutments, I was like, wow. It was like amazing. And that's kind of what like created the fire within me, I guess you could say, to keep exploring. So the trail takes us down to the creek bed, but the railroad itself ran off to the side here. Let's just go ahead and walk down here together. Of course, every time I come here, a little bit more and more of the stonework from these abutments is falling down. It's kind of surprising how much of it is still standing, though, considering how the waters rush through here during floods. Yeah, off to our left here is the railroad bed up there, headed towards where the bridge would have been. And you should be able to see a little bit of the stonework there already. Yeah, there they are. So I'll set the camera down at some point and walk up to it so you can see how big it is. Yeah, see, like that all right there is new. It's been washed out, so this whole section here is going to crumble. Yeah, you can see those big stones fell out recently from there. Yeah, there it is, going down through. Like, yeah, so up here's where the bridge was. This is where the trains would have come across up top there. Yeah. So I gotta find a place to put the camera down, and I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can make my way down there further so you can get some perspective or scale. Alright, well, we'll see if we can get down here without getting too wet. It's kind of changed since the last time I was here. Go a little further on. You can kind of see me here. Pretty awesome. Yeah, I was hoping to go down a little bit more, but this drop off here feels new. I don't remember it being this difficult to get down in there, but there's ice. It's cold, it's ice, it's wet, rocky. I think we'll just stay up here for today. But yeah, beautiful spot. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and make our way across the stream. Lots of beautiful waterfalls up there. Alright, then we'll make our way. The trail takes us back up to the rail bed. Might actually poke up to the top there a little bit, but then there's a trail up here that takes us down into town. Alright, we made it across. Nice and dry. Just another view of that location down there. Beautiful. Alright, let's get up top there. Alright, here we are at the top, walking along the old railroad bed. You can see the gap up ahead where that bridge would have been. Yeah, wow. Won't get too close. The other is where I was filming earlier. Wish I had someone with me you could see for a comparison, but and up that way is where the mines were. Alright, and then we're going to continue on down the old rail bed here. Remember, this is called the Summit Siding Rail Bed. And you could hike this old rail bed all the way over to Rausch Gap. We're not going to do that today. I have done that several times. But just up ahead here is a trail that takes us down into where the village was. And it's a trail that was used by the workers. It was made at the time when this railroad was made. So a lot of the workers, some of the workers traveled here by rail from places like Rausch Gap. I think some of the workers would also take the villages down here. I think the trail is kind of right down here, comes up. But I think they hopped on the train here and took a ride over to where the mines were too sometimes. So they have a little trail that they made to come up this way. I think it's right up here actually. Yeah, just to our left. Yep, right here it curves down. So we're retracing the steps of those coal mine workers back in the 1850s. And down here there's all kinds of remains of different foundations and stuff. No complete houses, just foundations. And then the trail continues on down. It's a little bit hard to follow sometimes. It's not like not much of an actual trail anymore, but you can kind of see it going down through here. Sometimes this area is a stream too, like in the spring. There's a lot of water flowing through here. Alright, let's see where our first foundation will be. Yeah, so still following this trail, starting to turn into like an old road, because there's another bridge across the creek up here that was not for the railroad. But over here is a foundation. Looks like a pile of rubble. There is a foundation here. Kind of see some of the remains of it. And then over way here, down there's another foundation. Let me zoom in a little bit for you on that one. Yeah, there you can see some of the stonework down there. Their house foundation down there. And then the trail gets a little clogged up with fallen trees, but over there is where that one foundation was again. They're scattered throughout this area. There's a bunch of them over there. Let's go around this way actually. Now it gets wet. Alright. Alright, let me figure this out. Alright, well we just came through that nonsense over here. But down here is the other bridge. Or where the other bridge was. So there've been an old road right here. Doesn't look like it now. But over there you can see the other bridge abutment. And there'd be one right here too. It's gonna get a little closer. It's all overgrown here. But yeah. See a stonework over there. And there are some foundations over there too. On our way back we'll be going that way. Because the trail we came up is up that way. Alright, let's turn around. Get to where some of the better examples of these foundations are. And I need to find a place to eat lunch. It's past 1:30 now. I also got to tell you why it's called Gold Mine, this town. Not for the reason that a lot of people think it is. But we'll talk about that. Talk about a few other things about treasure hunting. Alright, so way down there is where we just were in that whole brushy area. But if you come up the hill a little bit, you'll start seeing foundations for these homes. A little bit of stonework there. You can kind of see the walls go up, come across. They weren't big homes, but there are still some cool examples of stonework up here remaining. There you can see more of that stonework. I think on the other side of this is a nice section. Old campfire. Nice place to eat lunch here too. Yeah, I think over here. If we look down this way. Yeah. Right there you can see some nice stonework for this house. I've actually found a lot of like trash, like old trash, like old pieces of glass and crockery and stuff down in there. I dug down there a little bit one time. Nothing valuable, but just some relics of the time. Right, I think I'm gonna eat lunch here. It's a great place to eat lunch amongst the ruins of Gold Mine. Got our peanut butter and honey sandwich. Back to the marbled rye bread, the pumpkin rye. So, all right, let's enjoy this. Then we'll chat about a few things and then go looking for some more foundations. Whoops, there goes my sandwich. So in a little bit, we'll walk around a bit more, look for some more foundations. There's quite a few out here. I need to make a map one of these days. Not today. Today's a little too cold. It's only in the upper 30s right now. I was warmed up from walking around, but now just even sitting here eating my lunch, I'm getting a little bit cool. want to talk about a few other things first. I'm going to yap for a little bit here, but why is this place called Gold Mine? Some people swear that there is an actual gold mine up here somewhere, but no, there is not. Sorry, but there's not the right geology for there to be gold up here. But back in the day, coal was often referred to as black gold. Back in the time, coal was like big money, big business. So in a way, it was gold. It was black gold. So there was gold up here, and there was mining, so a gold mine. That's more than likely why it's called Gold Mine. I know I might disappoint some people, but there's no gold up here in these hills. It's all sedimentary rock up here, which is why you have the coal. Yeah, and then some thoughts about the treasure hunters and the metal detectorists. This is state game lands up here. You're not allowed to metal detect in this whole area. But before I continue, there are good metal detectorists out there. Who are out there to find history, preserve history. One of them I filmed with this past summer, Todd from Appalachian History Detectives. Good guy. It's great to find old stuff, but his main goal is just to preserve history and talk about history. Then there's the guys that come out here just thinking they're going to make it rich. The guys who don't fill in their dig holes. I've seen that happen up here a lot, where I've come up here in past times and there's just holes dug up everywhere. It takes 5 seconds to scooch the dirt back in the hole with your boot, but they let it go. Whole areas up here just dug up. Someone just like, yeah, you know, almost like a pack of wild pigs rushing everything up. They come up here and tear down the stone walls, hoping to find an old coin. They're just like destroying history. So that's bad news. So if you're one of those people, just, yeah, knock it off, I guess I could say. So just keep that in mind. Not that you're going to listen to me, but anyway, it is illegal to metal detect in areas like this, though. All right, so enough yapping. Let's walk around a little bit more. If you head out more this way, there's more foundations. Just kind of scattered all over the area. Like I said, I want to make a map sometime of this area where everything is. There you can see, yeah, up ahead you can see another foundation right there. Sometimes you can find just pieces of history here in the, oh yeah, like right here. Here's a piece of like dinnerware or something. Probably from the house right there. Just tossed it out their window. So we'll just leave this here. No reason to take it home. That's cool, setting the boss there. Yeah, see what else is here. And that's mostly what you're gonna find at places like this, is just old pottery and stuff. I did find an arrowhead here once. Alright, let's keep going. Yeah, so here's a look at the remains of that house again. Just over there was that piece of pottery. But they occur in rows. Like there's one here, there's one up there, there's one beyond it. And I think there's another row just up. So when you find one, just keep walking, you'll find another one. Yeah, so right up here is another one. But there's the wall. Some of the walls are not nice and stacked anymore, they're just kind of rubble. You can see the wall went up around. There was a middle section. It goes up that way too. And up here's the next one. A little bit of stacked stone up this way. I think there's one more up there too, yet. And there's another one. I think this is the last one going this way, or do I see another one? Like I said, I believe there's another row of these up further. I think I can see some stuff up through the trees there. We might go back that way then. So I see some stacked stone right there too. There's stuff that's everywhere out here. But yeah, here's another home. Be cool to live out here these days. This one has some stacked stone on the end. Right there. Cool. And sometimes there's like a pile, will look like a pile of dirt, but sometimes that's a pile of coal ash. Because they would burn coal to stay warm in the wintertime. Sometimes you see those piles It's like a pile of coal ash. You might, you know, who knows, maybe other debris in there. Yeah. Actually, I think there is one more house up here. Yeah. I think this is the last one. So you can make out quite a bit of the wall in this one. But once again, you can clearly make out the walls. There's the middle wall, kind of goes up and around, and then there's a whole nother section over here. I think this middle jumble might have been where the fireplace was. I know if you go up to, which one was it? Rattling Run, you can actually see some of the, where the fireplace was, like the mantle of the fireplace, the mantle stone, but I've never seen that here. I think there's some stacked stone up that way. Yeah. We're walking, we're staying now, it used to be someone's home. Yeah, just a little bit of stacked stone on the corner here. This last house. I guess maybe we'll make our way up that way, see some more foundations. I gotta remember to take pictures too. Yeah, so there definitely are some more foundations just up to the north of where we were. See some more stacked stone. And there's another one. Another one down there. Yeah, so I could totally live up here. I mean, back in the day, it may not have looked quite so nice. You would have had a nicer view of the mountain back there. I'm not sure if that showed up on camera, but back then, a lot of most of these trees would have been gone to make the homes and for logging. This whole area was just completely logged out in the 1800s, so it would not have been forested like this. It would have been maybe like scrubby looking. Looks a lot of thorns and grasses and stuff like that. Probably looked quite a bit different. At least by the 1850s, 1870s. Alright, well I'm going to make my way back to Gold Mine Run. We'll probably pass a few more foundations on the way, but I'm not going to film, well maybe I'll film one more up there. But then we'll cross the creek. There's a few more things on the other side of the creek. I'm not sure if I'll film them or not. At this point everything kind of starts looking the same. And there's a lot of interesting things back here. There's a website called stonyvalley.com. And there's a lady, I forget her first name offhand, I'm trying to think. Her last name is Martin. A lot of you probably know who she is, but she's probably like the expert on everything Stony Valley and back here. So if I remember her full name, I'll put it right there. You can, she's the one that runs that website, Stony Valley. Lots of cool stuff on that website. So yeah, here is one more foundation. This one's still got some nice stone work to it. Kind of wondering what the houses themselves look like, but they're long gone. There's some more stonework of another house, another foundation. Alright, but I'm going to make my way back down to that smaller bridge. I realized I didn't get any pictures of it, but we're going to try and cross there. At least that's the goal. Yeah, so there's another look at that other bridge that went across the creek here. We're going to try and cross down here somewhere. At least that's the plan. Yeah, so here you can get a good view. That's what we were looking at, and which we were up there earlier, and that's what the other side looks like. And there would have been a bridge across here. Take you from one side of the town to the next. And we made it across without getting wet. The plus. And then there are some foundations on this side too. You can see one up there. I think up here somewhere is the remains of an outdoor cook oven too. Like they would have, instead of cooking inside the home during the summer, they'd have an outdoor oven. That's back here somewhere. I've seen it before. I've read about it. Not sure if we'll get there today. Alright. But the trail we need is up that way. Alright, we just came through that mess. Back there was town. We're back on our old road again. Because up there is where our crossroads were. the railroad was and stuff. But we're gonna start making our way back down. I got a few closing comments to make. Gotta empty a rock out of my shoe, and then we'll get going. Yeah, so like I've already said, I love it. I love it up here. Kind of where it all began for me. These explorings and stuff. So yeah, awesome place. If you come visit, just be respectful of it. And yes, definitely need to map it. Need to get like a journal that has just blank pages in it or something. It'd be awesome to, well, it's not that blank. It doesn't have to have blank pages, I guess, but yeah, I'd love to make a map of it. Of course, today's a GPS. I can get GPS coordinates of each site of ruins, take pictures of each one, kind of label it. Cool just to do a little more than just film and document these sites, but try to record as much as possible of what's here. All right, make our way downhill. That'll be it for this video. Great time up here today. It's always just like visiting an old friend. All right, as always, thanks for coming along, and I'll see you around.